Yeah, no, alright then. And you've already got 195? Yeah. Put 2 ticks. Yeah. So the time has come, finally, everything arriving pretty much intact in our home in Western Australia. It might actually be more space efficient if it goes in here. Yeah. One of the things that I enjoy doing the most is mucking around in my garage on a Saturday morning, and this is of course my first Saturday morning in Perth, and all our stuff of course arrived yesterday in the truck. 3 very nice chaps came to the leader, the foreman, covered in tattoos, beard down to here, nicest possible man you could ever meet, helpful, just we had a fun morning. It was fun. And so there you go. There's my... Now, every man's cave is his garage. Every real man's cave is his garage. And I am proud to announce my cave in its state. Now, there are a few things that, for some silly reason, I was concerned that wouldn't make it all the way to Australia. Now, this box here is the one that was declared. There were a few items in it that I wasn't sure that were legal in Australia, so I declared it. And, well, there it is. Now, this is my Australian bush knife, made by Sandy Jack of Jack Law, and it's the one that I did a vlog about how beautiful this knife is, and I've actually saved it for use in my Australian bush travels. Isn't it magnificent? That to me is a work of art, handmade. That I'm really looking forward to, because that to me symbolises my move from the UK to Australia. And inside this box, well, it's a treasure trove. Bush knife, torches. Anyway, it's a bit of a jumble. I packed it very much neater than this. What they did take out is a small air pistol that I used to use just to target practice. It was a plaything. But it actually looked very realistic, and I think that's actually why they didn't permit it, because it looks too realistic, looks like a 9mm. And they also took a laser pointer out. Now, I'd forgotten I'd even owned it. But the best part of this whole thing is that look what survived inspection. My wooden fish eagle, and my fish and buffalo. Now, the sad thing is that I don't even think they went through the box. There was no obvious evidence that they went through the box, even though it was marked, but they might have done. And my 2 bits of wood that I picked up, one on the Skeleton Coast and one at Sunday's Pan in the middle of the Kalahari, in the Central Kalahari Game Reserve, I actually just left them in the UK. I thought, there's no chance. Actually, I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I'd just put them in there. Other things that I found: Canadian jerry can, the Scepter dairy cans, safety strops for recovery, and this here is a seed net that was actually in my Land Cruiser. I didn't sell it when I sold my cruiser in England. They have no real need for seed nets, so I kept it for my next project. I must mention one thing about Australia, which surely for men makes Australia one of the finest countries in the world. And it's an institution, and it's called Bunnings. Behold, Bunnings. It is heaven on earth. Storage systems and electrical and hooks and shelves and workshop and tools, and it's basically the world's largest hardware store. Oh, idea. I spend days it is it is a joy to behold. The range is unbelievable.
This is what you should look like when you go to church.
Hmm?
This is what you should look like when you go to church.
I don't quite follow you.
Well, this is how happy you should be when you go to church.
Yeah. Right. And it's a week later, and as you can see, absolutely no progress in my garage workshop at all. In fact, the chaos is more terrible than it was the day we moved in. However, there has been significant progress, I'm glad to say, about the 4x4 that I am going to purchase. I've decided what I'm going to buy. I've decided, see, I'm very excited. I've decided how to equip it, and the dealership is actually, you can almost see it from my garage. It's over there. Not only have I decided what to buy, I've also decided on how specifically I'm going to equip it. I've discovered something new, never seen it before, and in fact I'm going this very morning, Monday morning, to order my truck now. I looked very closely at a number of vehicles. I particularly looked closely at this vehicle, the Land Cruiser 200 GX. It's the basic model, and it's got very few electronics, just electronics to control the engine, but nothing else. It's a basic model, and I really liked it because of that. And of course I looked at the troop carrier and the double cab, and what I have decided upon finally, it's not here, I can't show you it now, it's actually being built right now. It'll be delivered in Australia on the 15th of the month, that's 11 days from now, and I will receive it in my hands towards the end of the month. Should I tell you what I'm buying, or should I leave you hanging on? I haven't actually told my viewers what I'm. I don't know if I should tell them actually what I'm ordering, because there was still a toss-up between the 78 and the 79.
Yeah, okay.
They don't know. Okay, it's a 79. It's a 79 dual cab, and it's the new model. It's the 2017 spec. Toyota Australia has got a very nice website where we can actually build your own vehicle. So if I click here on vehicles and go down to Land Cruiser 70. And there is, well, my palette. And I'm an artist. This is the vehicle that I have ordered. Select a cab. I have selected the double cab chassis. Isn't that rather nice? The specification is GXL. And now I can decide what tray I put on the back. Now in Australia, these vehicles cannot actually be sold unless by special order without a tray, because they're not roadworthy. The rear lights attached to the tray. So I have selected heavy duty aluminium. It is close to 100 kilograms lighter than the heavy duty steel. Obviously not as strong as the steel, but I'm not carrying maximum loads. Lastly, I select my color. Now, here was the big thing. If I had selected the color of my choice, they would have put the order in, built it, and I would have received it late March. In fact, even early April. And that was too late for me. I need to start the build now. I've got a big build, busy year ahead, and I'm going to be spending some time out of Australia, so I'm going to have to, time is not on my side. So I decided, take what's available. And there is only one available. that was pre-ordered by the dealership and not accounted for. In other words, it wasn't ordered for a specific client. They just ordered it knowing that a client would come along, and I am that client. And I have selected this color here, which is called graphite by default. Would I have chosen this color? Maybe. Probably not. But for the fact that there are several other four-wheel video producers in Australia, and they've got the same vehicle, that in the same color. So, I'm going to wrap it. Put it this way, I'm hoping to wrap it, and I'm thinking about doing it in my signature green. But what I'm putting on the back, I'm not going to tell them.
Okay.
I've found something amazing. I've been looking now for about a year. I went to the States, South Africa, looking for something that will work for me in the back. And I found it. And you know where I found it? Wow. Up the road.
Literally up the road?
Literally. If I had to walk from here, 10 minutes.
Really? Wow.
If that.
You know my brain
Absolutely.
is going like
yeah,
this
I know,
right
and
now.
I'm hoping your brain's also. I've been asked by a few people, why Western Australia? Because after all, Perth is the world's most remote big city. And in fact, if you travel anywhere from Perth, you go by plane. If you want to go by car, it's not just hours to the next big city, it's days. And as my father once said to me, the trouble is with Perth, it's so far from town. But I figure that Perth has some other qualities, and particularly now with Donald Trump moving into the White House, I have to think about the inevitable Armageddon that will result. So, is Perth a good or bad idea considering Armageddon? Well, there are two ways of looking at it. One, it's the worst possible choice, because they're going to fire missiles and they're going to have to test them first, and if the missiles can reach Perth, they can reach anywhere. So Perth is the natural choice for testing the missiles. So we'll all be obliterated. We won't even know the war started. It'll just be poof gone. Or the entire world will be obliterated, and the warmongers will be looking at their maps, and one of them will say, "Look! Perth! We forgot!" So, I have one thing to say about Perth and Western Australia. I absolutely bloody love it.